beautiful beings, and welcome to my sacred space. My name is Raven, and thank you so much for being here. That's Magnus meowing over there. I am going to do my best to keep this video within the 1 hour mark because I have a lot of Oracle decks to show you, because tonight I will be showcasing my Oracle deck collection. Yes, I tried counting them all, but I keep losing the numbers, so I guess it's around, I don't know, maybe over 70, about 80 decks in total. So like I said, I'm not gonna ramble so much right now because we have a lot of decks to go through. Without further ado, we're going to start. Alright, first up we have the Archangel Metatron Self-Mastery Oracle. This is by Amanda Ellis, and it came in with this awesome guidebook, a lot of information. It's colored, and I do love this deck. I have a really strong bond with this deck. It has helped me through so many tough times already. It is edged in gold, and here are the images. I rarely show this deck, and I use this just for personal readings, for my own readings for myself. So yeah, this is really trying my best to cut it short because we have a long way to go. So yeah, this is the Archangel Metatron Self-Mastery Oracle by Amanda Ellis. Next up is the Soul's Journey Lessons cards. This is by James Van Prague, published by Hay House. A lot of information as well. I really like the guidebook for this one because it's just very straightforward. Here's the backing. I edged mine in this maroon color. And the images for this deck, it's just very simple, but I don't know, I like it. This is, I apologize for Magnus, you just have the title there and an affirmation. And you know, for the readings that I've used this deck with, it's very accurate, and I am very appreciative of that deck. Next up we have the Queen of the Moon Oracle. This is by Stacy DeMarco, published by Rockpool. A moon deck, and I edged mine in this kind of like silver grayish color. Backing looks like that. Images are stunning, gorgeous digital collage. You would have the type of the moon, the type or the kind of moon, and a keyword. And I love that the keywords are actually very much connected to the images, so it's very easy to read with, plus you can use your intuition. And another thing about Rockpool decks that I love is how they pay close attention to the guidebooks that they produce. They also have colored images, and you have a little bit of design or decor in the guidebooks themselves, which I think is really cool. This is the Archetype Cards of Carolyn Mice or Miss, another Hay House deck. I have a lot of Hay House decks. This one has a lot of cards. You can see I edged mine in black, and here you would have different archetypes. Now you actually don't read this deck. For example, if you get one in reverse, you don't read the shadow attribute. Both sides are actually applicable to each and every one of us. So I enjoyed reading this deck. It is based off of Carl Jung's philosophy, so that's really amazing. We have extra cards here, so you can add your own archetypes, and then there, lots of information as well. Really breezing through, so please bear with me if you are keen to see or to watch the individual deck reviews or the flip throughs of the cards. Please do check out my playlist on the channel. This one is the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell and Daniel Noel, and you have this very interesting box over here. I think you can put the cards like that. So I'm going to show you the backing. Very light, but it has that wispy, airy, ethereal feel to it. The images are gorgeous, of course. If you're familiar with Daniel Noel artworks, you would know she has this very galactic feel to her decks, and I really enjoy reading with this one. A lot of deep ideas and thoughts. For the guidebook, I'm just gonna flip through it, because if I go through all of the guidebooks for all of the decks that I will be showing tonight, I think this will last maybe 2 hours. This one is Astral Realms Crystal Oracle by Dark Moon Crystals and Prism and Fleur Design Studio. Gorgeous interior, gorgeous sides edging. I love the paper that they use. It's quite shimmery. Also, the edging is very interesting in color. It's not your typical gold or silver, it's rose gold. And then here are the images. It has, again, that quite similar to the Daniel Noel artworks. It's quite galactic, celestial, you know, beautiful. And then you have the crystals right in the middle. You have 3 words. So you have the crystal associated, a planetary association as well, or an element, and then another keyword. So awesome. The guidebook is, you know, usual rock pool guidebooks. You have a lot of information, and at the same time they took the time to make it beautiful. So yeah, Astral Realms Crystal Oracle by Rock Pool. Next is the Psychic Tarot for the Heart Oracle deck. Now this, I use it as both as an Oracle deck and a tarot deck, because it can function as both. So I edged mine in green. I'm not going to go through it much because I already went through it during the tarot collection video, but there you go. Different keywords instead of your usual tarot archetypes. You have keywords, so you can definitely use it as both. But yeah, this one doesn't have court card. This is a sister or brother deck of that one. This is just Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. Same beautiful edging, backing for this one. And guidebook is, I'm just gonna flip through it. It is quite the same. So we'd have an image there and a lot of information. Similar to the Psychic Tarot for the Heart, this one doesn't have court cards as well, but you can definitely use this as an oracle deck and a tarot deck because of the keywords that they used. Yeah, there you go. Psychic Tarot Oracle deck by John Holland. This one is the Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards by Tori Hartman. It came in with this guidebook. It is colored, and I love how they segregated each of the cards according to the chakras. But the stories that she has here are actually short stories that she wrote when she was younger, as it was told by her spirit guides after her near-death experience, if I'm remembering things correctly. Here are the cards. Now what I like about it is that it's not solely a fuzzy deck. You know, it's not a fluffy deck. You have keywords that are not that easy to get. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, you have joy, but you also have trickery. You have isolation. It's very realistic. You know, the cards, not the design of the cards, but the keywords that they used. So this is a very useful deck. I like it so much because it kind of like gives me brutal answers, and you know, sometimes we really need to get the answers straight up, right? Next one is Flowers of the Night Oracle. This is by Sherilyn Darcy. This is a gift from An Aquarian Sense. Love the backing. This is a black and white deck, but it also has several different colors. This is a rock pool deck, but a pretty old one. So I mean, you can see from the guidebook that it's, you know, they don't have the additional design touches, but I'm pretty cool with this deck. I just started using it and I am enjoying it so far. I love the keywords, and I am a fan of Sherilyn Darcy, so I'm pretty sure I will bond easier, or you know, more with this deck. Next up, we have the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck. This is by Amanda Lovelace. This is one of my favorite Oracle decks because of the expansiveness of the ideas, or the thoughts that I get, or the hits that I get whenever I use them with my readings. So the guidebook is straightforward, very simple. Cards are like this. I haven't edged mine. I've been meaning to edge mine in black, but I haven't found the time to do that yet, so maybe in the future. I love the tiara. It's borderless, It is modern, and the keywords are so relatable. Well, the keywords and the sentences, key sentences. Beautiful set of cards. I adore the images. I love how Janina Medeiros created the graphics for this deck. Here is the Sufi Wisdom Oracle. This is by Rasuli. This is actually a Blue Angel deck. Came in with this guidebook. I like the guidebook. It does have actual quotes from the Sufis themselves, so you can, learn about their philosophy and all of that, how love is just the driving force, or should be our driving force. This is a very good read. It came in with, of course, this gorgeous deck. This is not really my art style. It's too abstract, to be honest, but you know what? I have been connecting with this deck so much that, I know most of the readings that I do will be accurate when I get, or when I use this this deck. I love it. It's not edged, but it has that smooth cardstock, matte cardstock by Blue Angel, and I think Blue Angel decks are just beautiful. So I really enjoy that one, the Sufi Wisdom Oracle. Next up is the Lantern Oracle. This is by Angelina Miravito, PhD, and the artwork is by Yuli Alejo. Again, another Blue Angel deck. And I like this one for, you guessed it, shadow work. So, I would go through each of the cards and read the meanings whenever I, pull a card and, couldn't connect, or if I needed more information, I really have to go through the guidebook because it gives a lot of insights. This is the backing. Again, soft matte cardstock, very sturdy as well, and then it has borders, but I think it's just too beautiful. This is a diverse deck, so you have age diversity, of course. Look at that. So I apologize. Gorgeous deck. So it features the maiden, the mother, and the crone. So beautiful deck for shadow work. I love it so much. Next up is my first ever independent deck. This is the Hidden Truth Oracle by All Things Intuitive. So this is basically just different messages, or to give you clarification on your readings, or if you're trying to channel, that's how it looks like. And this is the backing. I know she has other different decks, but yeah, I'm pretty set with this one. I love the cardstock. This is the Make Playing Cards cardstock, which is very easy to shuffle. This is the Affirmators Love and Relationships deck. This is by Knock Knock. I love the funny, the witty, the very interesting write-up that they have for the cards. I love the images too. They're so funny. It's a very light deck. Do you know what I mean? Like, I usually use this to end my readings with a little bit of humor, most especially if the reading is quite heavy, or if it's a little bit too serious, and if I wanted to inject some lightheartedness in the reading, I use this one. Alright, so I'm starting all over because this little guy over here is just too fussy. So this is my cute little Lenormand by Sarah M. Leon. I love the gradient and the images. They are cute. So yes, cute. Correct title for the deck. Gosh, sorry for the catnip. So this deck has a thick guidebook, and I'm really grateful for this guidebook because I am learning so much about Lenormand, because as you know, it has a system of its own. This is different tarots. So this is the cute little Lenormand by Sarah M. Lyons. Next up, we have, Okay, I'm gonna mention this one. This is just blank cards that I've written on, and I call this my Married in 5D deck. So just have black cards, and I've written messages on them, so I would use these for love readings. That's it. I just wanted to include that one. I don't think I included this in the total number of decks though. Yeah, no, I didn't. But yeah, I wanted to show you that one as well as this one. This is the Aurora Oracle. This is a deck that I purchased from makeplayingcards.com. It's not a lot of cards, but they are beautiful. I love how empowering it feels. There. This is the Aurora Oracle, and you can purchase it at makeplayingcards.com. This is the Empath Oracle. This is another deck that I got from makeplayingcards.com. I was going through the website just to check what they have, and I thought that this one is just so spot on for empaths, and I think this is something that, you know, we can all use as advice, you know, like use your confidence and intuition to know when to stop pouring and showing up. Yes, of course. So I really love the images and the messages of that deck. I'm gonna put them all together in this because the cards that I got, they didn't come in with a box. So I'm fine with that. Next one is another MPC deck. This is the Cottage Divine Masculine Love Oracle. So similar to the All Things Intuitive deck, this would have messages. Very simple. But I love the messages. It's vast. There are so many different messages here. It's not all lovey-dovey, so you also have, I guess, shadow cards, and I think it's cool. I love using it. A lot of diverse messages. The Cottage Tarot actually has her own YouTube channel. I'm gonna link it on the description box. Next up, we have Healers of the Earth Oracle. This is another independent deck. I didn't get the guidebook for this one, but she has it. The creator's name is Mandy Peterson. She has it on her website. So it has this holographic pearl edging. The backing looks like this, and here are the images. So this is the latest version. She has several different versions of this deck, but this is the one that is without the border and 2021 version. I think she comes up with a different version every year. I think you know, I could be wrong, but yeah. Healers of the Earth Oracle by Mandy Peterson. Next up, we have the Spirit Animal Wisdom deck, Katie Jane Wright. I love this. I love this animal deck. It's so pretty. I don't know, like oh look, Raven. I really like the art style of this deck. I think it's watercolor, maybe. I'm not really an art expert, so I'm not quite sure of the medium, but you know, gorgeous images, gorgeous animals, and the creator also mentioned that she had help from her spirit guide to identify which animals to include in this deck. So there you go, Spirit Animal Wisdom by Katie Jane Wright. Next up, this is the 50 Shades of Love deck by V of V Love and Crystals. I use it a lot for my love readings. I love the expansive kinds of love that she featured on this deck. So I love that, you know, it's also silhouette, so very interesting. Next up is Twin Flame Oracle. This is by Dr. Vrunda Dave, PhD. I like it. Another independent deck over here, which has a lot of wonderful keywords, you know. Yeah, most of these are not the good ones, but we can't always have good, right? I think I would prefer honesty and sincerity and authenticity than just all good cards. Do you know what I mean? Like, there you go. The images are just your simple images, but the keywords and the additional key phrases below are just spot on. I enjoy this deck so much, most especially for my love readings. Very good. You don't only have to use it for twin flame readings, you can use it for any type of relationship. Next up, this is the Divine Feminine and Masculine Reunited deck. This is by Christopher Jessica. I ordered this all the way from Australia. I love the backing of this deck. Look at that. Yin and Yang. It has this gold edging. Oops. Lots of information as well on her guidebook. And this deck has a system, so you would have silver for the gods, blue for the shadow side, a shadow aspect of your relationship, white for the light aspects of your relationship, and gold borders for goddesses. If you're interested to see my review of this deck, again, it's there in my playlist. This is the Nature's Whispers Oracle cards by Angela Hartfield, an older Blue Angel deck. So it does have the nice matte cardstock that they're using now, but the box is different. Guidebook is different as well. So yeah, this one doesn't have borders, and you would just have this huge bar at the bottom, which showcases which holds the messages of the deck. I love the artwork. Some would argue that it's a lot of things are happening, but I enjoy it because I get a lot of intuitive hits whenever I use this deck. Plus, you never get bored. Like, there's always something new when you use this deck, so I like it. Nature's Whispers. Next up, speaking of whispers, we have the Whispers of Love Oracle deck. This is by Angela Hartfield as well, but different because this is a love themed deck. This one has borders, and it also has that matte feel. I don't mind the borders, to be honest. I feel like it frames the images and it offers a bit of relief for my eyes because, again, similar art style. This deck has a lot of elements, like so many different things happening all at once, but it's good for intuitive readers. I would, say so myself. The artwork is, of course, I would have to mention her name. I'm sorry, I forgot. Her name is Josephine Wall. So there you go. Whispers of Love Oracle deck. This one is the Wisdom of the House of Night Oracle by PC Cast and Colette Baron Reed. I think this is one of the first few Colette Baron Reed decks. I think this is an old deck, actually. As you can see, the cards here are, straight. They don't have curved edges, and I had to trim mine and forgo the edging on the sides because it just kept on stabbing my hand, and it hurts when you shuffle it. It does hurt. This deck, I should probably trim this soon. I don't know, but I really don't have the patience for it. But yeah, this one has huge borders, and like I said, I'm not really, this is PC Cast, she added herself in the Oracle cards. I'm not really a snob when it comes to borders or cardstock, but this one just really eats too much of the card, I guess. But I like this deck. I like the images here, as well as the shadow elements or shadow keywords. There you go. This is actually based from a book that was written by PC Cast, but you can still use this without reading the book. Okay, this is Talking to Heaven by James Van Praagh. I use this like whenever I hear of, you know, someone passing away and I would get called to it. I would really, you know, select or, you know, pull cards for my friends. And, you know, I'm happy to share with you that this deck has helped so many different people get over their loss. But, you know, you can't really get over your loss. You know, grief doesn't work that way. But, you know, to get a little bit of comfort, to know that, you know, these messages just really help. So I like this deck. Use it for myself as well. So this is Talking to Heaven by James Van Prague. Initially, he, I think, collaborated with Doreen Virtue for this deck, but her name has been removed. This is Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid, a thick deck and one of my staples. This is one of my favorites. A lot of information in the guidebook, like she has different messages for, let's say if you're reading for relationship, you have this. If you're reading for abundance or money, you have this. Protection message would be if the card came up in reverse. This is the deck. It has white borders. I don't really mind. This is the old cardstock for Hay House, so pretty sturdy, laminated, but you know, glossy, and it does have borders, but that's cool. I'm okay with that. I like this deck because it gives me a lot of different intuitive hits, and it's just so pretty to look at. That is the Wisdom of the Oracle divination cards by Colette Baron Reid. Next up, we have the Elemental Oracle. This is a rock pool deck by Stacy DeMarco. Look at that. I love that it's holographic. I think it's so trippy. Again, you know, rock pool guidebooks, stunning, colored, extra decor. And for the cards, I like the backing on this one. I think it's different, you know. I like the colors as well, the gradient, but you know, the design itself, like it's very simple but stunning. Here are the images. So this is quite the same as the Queen of the Moon Oracle. So you would have a keyword there and another keyword or the title of the card. Look at that. So emotive. I love the images. I keep saying I love the images, but why would I get a deck that I don't like the images anyway? So you're gonna hear that a lot from me. So there, the Elemental Oracle by Stacy DeMarco. I'm trying to multitask, like grabbing a different deck while I stow away the other one. This is Amor et Psyche. This is a Low Scarabeo Oracle deck by George Barbier. Guidebook. Okay. Cards. This doesn't have a lot of cards, but oh, cool. But the cards are vintagey, I guess, or like I don't know what era this is. Renaissance, maybe, I don't know. But they look old. I think it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. There you go. Amor et, yes, this is a love deck, by the way. Amor et Psyche Oracle. We have the Power of Surrender Oracle deck by Judith Orloff. I use this for love readings or shadow work as well. This doesn't come with a guidebook, just this sheet over here, this little booklet. And the reason for it not coming with a guidebook is because you have the information that you need already on the cards. I edged mine in this tangerine color. So these are the things that you have to surrender to. So, you know, and you would have that already. And then the message over here. This is obviously like an old style deck with the design, I guess, but it works. It's very timeless for me. At least the images, at least the messages are, and they are very powerful too. So Power of Surrender cards by Judith Orloff, M.D. This is the stunning Priestess of Light Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor and Kimberly Weber. Beautiful. Guidebook, Hay House. No images, so that's pretty usual for Hay House decks. The backing, it's pixelated. You know, I still stand by my initial thoughts about the backing. It's not my favorite. The cardstock is different. It's unique. It feels textured. I'm not sure if, no, I don't think this is linen, but I like how you can see like there are different patterns on the cards if you look closely. I love that she offers different keywords as well to connect to the title. So yes, I edged mine in. I wanted it to be like forest green or emerald, but I think I'm gonna have to cover that up with a darker shade of green, I suppose. This is the Ancient Feminine Wisdom of Goddesses and Heroines. This is a US Games deck by Kay Stevenson and Brian Clark. And this is a gift from Shayana of Velvet Forest Moon. Look at the backing. Pretty. And this one has borders. And it features different Greek goddesses. Psyche, Hygeia, Selene, Carpo, Themis. To be honest, I haven't gone... Oh, and you have the keywords at the bottom. I haven't really gone through this deck. I haven't really used it yet. I want to read through the little white book first to learn more about the goddesses that I'm not really familiar with. So we have that. The Ancient Feminine Wisdom of Goddesses and Heroines deck. This is Sandra Ann Taylor's The Quantum Oracle. So this has 53 cards in total. I actually also have the energy. I'm gonna get it, grab it. This one. The Energy Oracle cards, but this is, I haven't opened it because I actually already rehomed the deck. And I just decided to get it again during Hay House's sale because I realized that I miss it. But yeah, I use that deck, the Energy Oracle, together with the Quantum Oracle for my readings. This one has a papery cardstock, not one of Hay House's nice cardstocks. Cardstock, I guess. Not really a fan of the images, but I can't seem to let go of this deck because of the expansive keywords. So yeah, that is the Quantum Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor, one of her old decks. Okay, going through Blue Angel decks here, we have Cosmic Dancer Oracle by Sedona Soulfire and Tess Whitehurst. So if you're a dancer, I edged mine in this indigo color. If you're a dancer, you will definitely love this deck. I love the dance poses. I enjoy the messages that I get from this deck, the intuitive hits that I get. It's just, I love how it's very appropriate for dancers. Like the poses definitely really connect with the keywords. It's pretty awesome. I'm going to show you the guidebook real quick. Just flip through it. So a lot of words, a lot of pages, so a lot of information. The Ancestor Spirit Oracle cards. This is by Jade Sky. Another Blue Angel deck that I love. I love learning about different cultures. I love traveling. I love, ruins and all of that. So, this deck is really powerful. Like as soon as I saw this deck, I just really decided to grab it immediately because I learned a lot from the guidebook as well. Here are the images. The backing is just this, like bonfire, fire. Just fire. This is borderless. Beautiful depictions. Look at that. So you would have a title, the title of the card, and several different keywords at the bottom. And it features different cultures, the tribes, you know, the first people on the planet. Love this, the sun. So yeah. Ancestor Spirit Oracle cards by Jade Sky, published by Blue Angel. Here I have the Oracle of Mystical Moments. This is by Katrine Welshstein. Of course, she's also the creator of the Tarot of Mystical Moments. This actually came first, then the Tarot deck. Very straightforward messages. This is a deck published by Hay House, not edged, but it is tarot size, so there. No borders, and I think this is beautiful. I love that it's slim. And another dreamscape style deck. I actually got this after I fell in love with the Tarot of Mystical Moments, and I think, of course, you can use them together and it gives amazing readings. This is the Tarot of Mystical Moments by Katrine Welshstein. Next up, we have the Archangel Oracle cards by Diana Cooper. This deck features archangels. Backing is so simple, and unfortunately, you know, the cards, well, I just want to give you a quick run through or flip through of the guidebook first. Unfortunately, the cards for this one is the wafer thin Hay House cardstock, so I'm not really impressed with it. I haven't used this much. The images are not my style, or the artwork is not my style. Reminds me of cartoons, or it's very cartoony, but the messages are wonderful. There you go. The Archangel Oracle cards or deck by Diana Cooper. Work Your Light Oracle by Rebecca Campbell and Danielle Noel. So I actually got this one at the same time as the Starseed Oracle. So here you go. Guidebook looks like this, and beautiful backing. Really gorgeous, really stunning backing. But this deck is just wonderful. Lemuria, Unbound, like a lot of different keywords, thoughts, ideas. You know, this is a profound deck. Oh, by the way, I actually I used white out to hide Anna, grandmother of Jesus, just because I don't want any religious connection. You know what I mean? I do respect religion and people's beliefs, but I would rather not have it on my cards. The Lightworker Oracle by Alana Fairchild, another deck by Blue Angel. Artwork is by Mario Duguay. And here we go. A lot of information. The thing about this deck, though, is I think Mario Duguay, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but the artist came up with another deck that has some of the images of this one. Not really keen on that, I guess, just because, I don't know, maybe the artworks have been created before this deck and they just, you know, they were just used. Not really sure. There you go. The Lightworker Oracle by Alana Fairchild, and the backing is beautiful. Next one is the Notes from the Universe on Love and Connection. This is a Mike Dooley deck, another Hay House deck without guidebook, because at the backing, or at the backs, you would have short phrases, okay, and in the front you have the actual messages. It is quirky, it is witty, it's funny, so I like it. kind of like to give a final or an additional advice for my readings. So that is the notes from the universe on love and connection. This is the Spirit Messages Daily Guidance Oracle deck by John Holland. So he created the Psychic Tarot, the 2 decks that I showed you earlier. Came in with this guidebook. Backing, not really a fan, but the front of the cards, that is what matters. You have the information here. The guidebook would offer further information. This is beautiful. I love it, especially like I said, for grieving, people who are grieving. I would pull cards here for myself. So this is a really helpful and comforting deck. This is the Stacey DeMarco Earth Power Oracle, another Blue Angel deck. I think this might be an old Blue Angel deck just because it looks different. I left different marks on places that I've already been in or visited. I like this one because I like traveling, so this is kind of like going on a trip or going on a vacation without buying a flight, like a plane ticket. But it's very interesting, most especially since the guidebook provides the coordinates, the GPS coordinates as well, and some tips for when you actually visit. I just wanted to mention that because the guidebook is amazing. The backing looks like this, and in the front you have beautiful imagery of these locations. I think it's just super nice, and I do enjoy different cultures. Like I said, I love traveling, so to have this deck is just perfect, especially during the pandemic and wherein we aren't allowed to go elsewhere. So this is the Earth Power Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. This is the Animal Kin Oracle by Sarah Wilder. I bought this deck from Antiquarian Sense. Wow, beautiful. I've always been eager to get this deck, and I'm so happy that I have it now. It's matte, and it does have borders, but look at that. Those borders are beautiful, so I don't mind them at all. I love, cat, I love the fonts that she used as well. And Sarah Wilder actually hand painted all of these images, and then she decided to make it into an oracle deck. Here is the Magic of Unicorns deck. This is by Diana Cooper. She's the one who created the Archangel Oracle deck that I showed you earlier. This one is beautiful. I actually got this first before the Archangel Oracle deck, and it's what propelled me to get the other deck, although that deck came out first. But this one has awesome cardstock. I love that it's glossy and it's smooth. I like the images or the artwork of this deck so much better than the Archangel Oracle. Amazing information as well about unicorns. I'm not really that familiar with them, and I have another unicorn here on the table. So what's up? What is wrong? And this guy is really a rebel. And speaking of rebels, we have the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck. This is by Alana Fairchild, another Blue Angel deck. Good for shadow work, a lot of information. And this is the latest version of this deck. It doesn't have borders anymore, and it is matte. Beautiful, isn't it? Perfect for shadow work. I'm watching the cat's tail because I feel like it might okay, let me just get this out of the way before he breaks it. So there you go. The Sacred Rebels Oracle deck by Alana Fairchild. Goddess of Love Oracle by Wendy Andrews. This is another rock pool deck. It has linen, I think, or a textured box. guidebook is pretty, as you can see. I did edge this deck with light purple. I think I did a pretty terrible job, but that's fine. I love the backing on this one. Very wintry vibes. This doesn't have a border. Not so keen on the art style, to be honest. I think I will end up rehoming this deck. I already rehomed the Goddess, what's the other one? Goddess Dream. So I guess this will end up finding a new home as well. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, the catnip is just all over my desk. WellnessLove Oracle by Wendy Andrew. Alright, so we have another Colette Baron Reed deck. This is the Spirit Animal Oracle. This has a lot of cards. A lot. And it has a very thick guidebook. Very chunky guidebook. Lots of information as well. Yeah, this one also provides protection message for reversed cards. But you know, it's up to you if you're going to read reversals. I edged mine in this kind of like mustard color. And here's the backing. Very pretty. And look at the actual cards. It's so vibrant. I love the animals and how they are depicted. It's quite strange that some of them would have like tiaras and all of that, but like this one, you know. But I guess that's just how the artist, Jenna Della Grottalia, I think that's Colette Baron Reed's go-to artist. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's just quite strange that the animals would have headpieces, crowns and all of that, but it is beautiful, and I appreciate the vibrancy of this deck, as well as the, oh gosh, see, I didn't even mention, like, you have the animal spirit over here and a message. There you go. I apologize, I am distracted by my kitty cat and I don't understand why he is being so fussy. This is the Daily Crystals Inspiration Oracle deck by Heather Askinosi. Wow, this is my second crystal deck, and gosh, you know, I am weirded out by myself for not purchasing this sooner, because this is such an awesome deck, you guys. I mean, a lot of information from the guidebook, yes, definitely, but I don't know, this is just so spot on for me. I have been using it a lot because it's just so accurate, and I love how it is very, very simple. Like, it doesn't have a lot of like elements. You just have the image of the crystal name, and a message. And the message, of course, connects to the properties or metaphysical properties of the crystal. Angelite, support is all around you, because, you know, angels are all around you. So, beautiful deck. If you can also use it as well as a way for you to memorize your crystals and their properties. Let's go through the small ones. This is the Gypsy Oracle cards. I got this from Los Carabeo. So I have, there you go. Very straightforward. God, look at that. I know it is quite morbid, but you know, this deck gives it to you straight. So perfect for clarifications. There you go. The Gypsy Oracle cards. Up is inspired by Frida by Akal Purtam. This is a rockful deck, and it has different self portraits, I guess, of Frida Kahlo, and they transferred it to the backing of the cards, which I think is gorgeous. I love Frida Kahlo. The messages here are empowering, and it also promotes self-love. You're stronger than you think and more than you know. Be curious and determined. So I love it. I love it. Perfect for self-love, you know? Self-care, self-love. Flower Petals by Sherilyn Darcy. This is printed by US Games. Look at the packing. Pretty. And here it's the same. It's kind of bowed, which I think, you know, I think is strange. But it has the same border all throughout. And it's very simple, very straightforward. You would have the type of flower, the scientific name of the flower, and an advice. The answers and truths are always within. That is the Flower Petals Mini Inspiration deck by Charlene Darcy. Love this one so much that I got the other one. This is the Language of Flowers by, of course, Charlene Darcy. I edged mine in this pretty metallic pink color, and it has the same format. This one is by Rockpool though. So you would have the scientific name of the flower, a keyword, and an advice, or a key phrase. I like it. This one gives me accurate or really appropriate advices for whatever situation I am in. And again, you know, similar synchronicity is awesome whenever I use this for my reading. So one of my favorites as well, The Language of Flowers by Charlene Darcy. The Fallen Angel Oracle Cards by Nigel Suckling. I call this my Watcher deck. Guidebook looks like this. Edged mine in black, and it is, I think, my only goth style deck. You would have the names of the Watchers there, the fallen angels, and keywords. Some here would have repetitive keywords like danger, danger, or upheaval, and then another upheaval card. But if you read the guidebook, you would understand why it's, you know, it's actually different. So you see, where's that? I saw another danger card, but yeah. And I try my best not to read the names of the Watchers out loud so that we don't summon them subconsciously or accidentally. Next up, we have the Love Oracle cards by Island Time Wellness. Another independent deck. I love it. Very straightforward, very simple. You just have keyword, an image, and more keywords or key phrases at the bottom. And this is perfect for love readings. To be honest, I've used this quite a lot, but I haven't memorized all of the cards because, you know, these are a lot. This has 54 cards in that tiny box. Is the Astrological Oracle by Antoniella Castelli. This is a Los Scarabeo Oracle deck. Lovely gilding, beautiful backing, and stunning Art Nouveau style inside. It also has some sort of like a little bit of metallic flash there. So this has very few cards, but I think it's beautiful. This is a gift from Cheyenne of Velvet Forest Moon. Oh, I didn't show you the guidebook. Here. I'm so happy for the guidebook because, you know, I would get to learn more about the houses and astrology, because I'm not really that well versed in astrology. But yeah, so again, you know, Los Scarabeo decks, so you would have different languages there as well. Okay, moving on to the next deck, we have my Kipper deck. This is the Mystical Kipper by Regula Elizabeth Fichter, I guess. Very interesting backing with a monkey, little white book here, and this one has different borders. I'm keen to find another. I think I have outgrown this deck, so I'm keen to get maybe Marchetti's Kipper deck, how do you pronounce that? Fond de Chakra. So yeah, I might grab that one, and I might rehome this one. Next up is the Morrigan Oracle cards by Morpheus, Ravenna, and Hannah Storyteller. This is actually a deck given by Antiquarian Sense. This doesn't come with a guidebook, and this is actually a challenge, a good exercise actually for your intuition. I'm not really that close. I'm not really that educated about Morrigan. I do know that she's kind of like a war goddess, but I would love to learn more about her and, hopefully get to immerse myself with the oracle cards, hopefully soon. And I do have decks here, goddess decks here, that will allow me to learn more about her. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Next up is the cue cards. This is a random purchase from Amazon. I just thought the images are cool. They have the backing looks like this, very simple. Wild card, win-win situation, doors fly open. So just random messages that I think, is just different and quirky. And so yeah, I decided to get it. Spellcasting Oracle cards by Flavia Kate Peters and Barbara Meiklejohn Free, a Hay House deck. One of my old decks, actually, and came in with this guidebook. So you can actually use the cards when you're spellcasting, I guess. The images are quite pixelated, I guess. They're not clear, but I do enjoy the keywords. I'm sorry, I think my cat was sneezing. So yeah, I love the keywords, very expansive. So yeah, I edged mine in blue, and not really that much of a fan of the backing, but it's fine. Next is the Shaman's Dream Oracle by Colette Baron Reed and Alberto Villoldo, and of course the artwork is by Jenna de la Grotalia. Guidebook looks like this. It doesn't provide reversed keywords or reversed meanings or the protection message. Backing, not so much of a fan of the backing, I guess, because it looks different from the images. Shaman's Dream and this, I don't know, it looks different. But the images are beautiful, they're wonderful, the keywords are amazing, and the messages are very relatable. This is not the nice cardstock though. I mean it's good, it's okay, but it's not Hay House's best cardstock. Again, if you want to see the full flip through of the cards, please go ahead and have a look at my playlist. This is one of my favorites. This is the Sacred Destiny Oracle by Denise Lin, another Hay House deck. Calming, very calming backing. I haven't edged this yet, and I don't think I will. I love the borders on this one, I mean, other people they don't like borders, but I like it with this one because the images are like photographs, like beautiful photographs, and the borders, it's kind of like a frame. So I love it. I like this deck a lot. I get very accurate readings, and they're very appropriate for the readings. Gosh, I'm quite exhausted already. I'm sorry if my energy is quite low now. But yeah, next up is the Lovers Oracle deck by Tony Carmine Salerno, and this is the one that has heart-shaped cards. So it doesn't come with a full guidebook, just that. So you'd have the messages on the back or on the front, and then you have beautiful artworks for the backing. Thing is, I didn't, and I don't think I will be buying any other Tony Carmine Salerno decks, not because I don't like them, but just because the images are repetitive. Like, most of these are also used in her other oracle cards, and I just really don't want a mix-up of the images like in my head, so yeah, this is the only deck that I will have of hers. This is the Lovers Oracle. Next up is the Archeo Personal Archetype Cards. This is by Nick Bantock. Oh wow, this one has a rip. Okay, I'm actually reading and I'm going through the guidebook, so it's somewhere here. Okay, This is how the guidebook looks like. Colored, I love it. Different style, and that makes it very intriguing to me. It also has blank cards for you to write on, so don't understand why it's bowed, but it is. It's quite tall and narrow, so yeah, like I said, interesting artwork over here. You have the archetypes on the sides, like different sides, kind of like hidden or, you know, meshed well with the artwork. So yeah, the Archeo Archetypes deck by Nick Bantock. Next up is the Angels and Ancestors Oracle cards. This is by Kyle Gray with artwork by Lily Monsis, and another Kyle Gray deck that I like. Amazing write-ups. I love how Kyle Gray writes and explains each of the cards. I edged mine in brown. Beautiful backing. And here are the images. I love the artwork. I love how earthy this deck is. Oops. The keywords or the advice at the bottom is also, you know, these are action words, you know, trust in higher forces, wait for important information, track down your fears and decide. So I prefer decks that are like that because it's perfect when you're seeking for advice. So, you know, very straightforward. I love the earthy feel of this deck, even though it's, you know, angels. I think this kind of like, the artwork at least kind of like connects more to the ancestors. This is the Tea Leaf Fortune cards by Ray Hepburn. This is a deck published by US Game Systems. To be honest, I haven't really acquainted myself much with Tea Leaf. Like, it has a very thick, substantial guidebook, but I haven't really gone through it. It came in with this organza bag wherein you can put the cards and shake away, because it would be difficult to, I guess, like, I mean, for me with the small hands that I have, because these are 200 cards. So you'd have like actual tea leaf cards, and then months of the year, and then the houses. So a lot of cards, a lot of cards. There you go. So you would have the title of the card, the message, and the image. Very straightforward, you know, but I would love to learn more about the guidebook first before I delve into using this deck. I mean, I guess I can use it as a confirmation deck and just read, you know, using my intuition, but I still would love to learn more about tea leaves, so putting this on the shelf, literally and figuratively. Runes for modern life. Very honest with you, I haven't used this deck. My best friend in high school got me one of the witchcraft books, and it has a part there for runes, but yeah, that was in high school and I've forgotten about them, but I got this deck and I think it's just super beautiful. This, see, it still has the paper covering, or the belt, and this one has very thick cardstock, so you know, you can't really shuffle it. Maybe if you shuffle it, you will have to do overhand shuffle. The images are modern because, you know, it is runes for the modern life. There you go. Next is the Mystical Healing Reading Cards. This is by Ina Sigal. This is a rock pool deck, but under their reading cards line, so it has a different style, different packaging, and all of that. As you can see, the images are quite vintagey, maybe Renaissance or Victorian era, I guess. Very interesting. And then you would have the message over there. Stop breaking agreements, embrace meditation, learn from karma. So these are cards that's, you know, again, perfect for shadow work. Like, I purchased this for that purpose. So the guidebook is very pretty as well. It is colored, and you'd have a lot of information. Plus, what's amazing about this deck is you have an action to follow. That is the Mystical Healing Reading Cards by Ina Seagull. Next up is my Legendary Ladies Goddess deck by Anne Shen. Of course, we have Ishel there and Bast because they are my goddesses. Here is the guidebook, straightforward. You have the name of the goddess, a keyword associated to the goddess, origin, and info. Now, the images are kind of like fairy tale like, cartoony, but gorgeous. Very gorgeous. That's the Legendary Ladies Goddess deck by Anne Shen. Heal Yourself Reading Cards, again by Ina Seagull. Oops. I do have I used to have other decks from this reading line, but I have already rehomed them, so these are the only two remaining, and they're both from Ina Seagull. So I like it. These are all female with a little bit of male extras. The keywords are wonderful, of course, since this is a shadow work deck. You know, you have not so light keywords here, and I think it's very stunning, but at the same time it goes deeper than the images. You know what I mean? Like soulmate, and then it's an actual soul. It also has like different races, so I think that's cool. Look at that, selling out, you know. And if I show you the, I'm sorry for my energy, it's quite low, it's quite late. I'm quite exhausted. So there, this is the guidebook, similar to the other reading cards guidebook. Of course, it's colored and you have an action part, so this is a great deck to use when you work on yourself. This is Colette Baron Reed's Enchanted Map Oracle, another Hay House deck. This is the new version, so unfortunately this would have the thin ass cardstock. Guidebook looks like this, no images whatsoever. This has upright and reversed meanings though. The backing is beautiful. I prefer this backing over the old one, but yeah, the sides are, you know, it makes me sad how easily chip they are. This is also not a matte deck, it's quite glossy, but you know, she changed the whole thing. It used to have borders and it has sort of like a golden ribbon here instead of teal. I like this one better. I like the artwork better. I mean, it's the same artwork, but you know, there are several different cards here that she changed, and the title bar she also changed, so I like it. You know, it's just really the thin cardstock that's a gripe about this deck. Okay, the Angel Wisdom Tarot. This is by Radley Valentine. It is a heavy deck. Like if I hit someone on the head, and you know, I won't do that, but if I do and I use this box, you know, they'll probably get knocked out. A lot of information on the guidebook, and it's not my style, but it's good to have a Radley Valentine tarot deck because I do work with angels as well. So here, so these cards are color coordinated depending on the suits. The scary arcana cards are renamed as well, and you would have information here, so I guess this deck would be perfect if you're just starting to learn how to read the tarot. Angel Wisdom Tarot by Radley Valentine. Up next is another Goddess Oracle deck. This is the one by Sofia Marashinsky. This guidebook has a wealth of information. I tell you, there's a lot. So you would have the meaning of the cards, you would have a ritual suggestion, and then mythology. So very, very substantial. Like, this is the book that I reach out for whenever I would like to learn more about a specific goddess. And you know, they have a lot in this deck. Here are the images. Cute. I guess, you know what, it's not like I'm nitpicking and I'm trying to find a fault to this deck. I just really don't like the backing. I mean, they could have done better, you know? But amazing cardstock. I like it. It's sturdy, so I'm pretty sure this will hold up well. And this is a US Games publication. So this is the Goddess Oracle by Amy Sophia Marashinsky. This is the Angel Answers Oracle deck by Radley Valentine. Again, it used to be collaboration with Doreen Virtue, but of course, her name has been omitted. Now this deck is very straightforward. It is color coordinated though. So these are kind of like your yes or no. Is that it? Yes, these are like your straightforward yes or no cards. And then the yellow ones are the timing cards. And then these pink or purple cards are more general keywords. Not a fan of the artwork, but I appreciate it. It feels, I don't know, like Renaissance style, I guess, just because of the number of gold in it. It's a guidebook, and look at that, you have DNA here. Amazing. This is the Power of Love activation cards, another James Van Prague deck. Pretty. I love the colors on this one. Guidebook. Keywords are wonderful and very simple. That's it. You would have the keyword and further messages, you know, very straightforward. That is the Power of Love activation cards by James Van Prague. Next is the Angel Guide Oracle. This is by Kyle Gray, published by Hay House. This is one of my favorite angel decks. I love the backing. I have an amazing relationship with this deck. We've bonded so well over time, and I love it. So in the guidebook, you would have, you know, a typical Hay House guidebook, typical Kyle Gray guidebook. You would have the message here and an extended message. So very nice. Images, you know, this is very different from his other angel decks, and I adore the artworks on this one. I love the throw of colors, you know, it's just, it gets you. It's like, it's so vibrant and so alive, and the images of the angels here are so expressive, but at the same time they're not fake. You know what I mean? Like, I ended up rehoming his other deck, the angel, gosh, the blue one. I just couldn't reconcile with the artwork of that one and how kind of like all over the place the artwork is. Like, some of them would be wearing modern clothes, some are wearing Power Ranger outfits, so I couldn't really connect with that deck. But this one I completely adore. This is the Angel Guide Oracle by Kyle Gray. Beautiful, please get this one. Next is another Los Carabeo Oracle deck. This is a gift by An Aquarian Sense. Beautiful guidebook with a space for your notes. Haven't studied this actually because I do have a lot of decks to study. So, but yeah, look at that, so cute. It doesn't have any keywords or whatnot, so you just have the yes, it does have keywords, but it doesn't have like a message or a key phrase there. So it's just straight up like mushroom, mugwort, mandrake, desert. So you would really use your intuition whenever you read, I guess. But at the same time, you know, I would like to learn more about these plants, or, you know, the animals. And this one has Really nice cardstock too. So yeah, this is the Liminal Spirits Oracle deck by Laura Tempest Sakroff, published by Llewellyn. Sorry, I said Los Carbeo. This is Llewellyn. Similar to the Archeo deck. Oh wow, I think we're down to the last. Is it? Oh my, wow, finally, we're down to the last deck. This is the Moonology Oracle deck by Yasmin Boland. I already have her new deck on its way to me, and so I guess I won't be able to include that in this video anymore. But this is how it looks like. This is one of my favorite, one of my staples. I love the guidebook, a lot of information about the moon, how you can attune to the moon, and teachings, descriptions of the moon. So very wonderful guidebook. I edged mine in this kind of like indigo color. I love the backing. I love that it's matte, and the cardstock it's wonderful. It's not the paper thin Hay House cardstock. I appreciate this deck because it is matte. It is simple. It doesn't look anything like other decks. You know what I mean? Like the artwork is just very original. And I love the messages, of course. It's not always good, but you would have they would have divinatory meanings, and at the same time like advices, So it's an amazing deck to have. And there you go. I'm done. So that is all of my Oracle decks. I am sorry, I'm completely depleted right now of my energy, but I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please, I don't know, leave a turtle. That's the first thing that I thought of. A turtle emoji on the comment section if you reached this part. Congratulations, and thank you so much for being patient and for hanging out with me. I truly appreciate your presence, and I wish you a beautiful day ahead. Bye.